Hello, beautiful one. Today I am talking about the power of trigger and how do you go with it when you feel triggered by a person, by a situation, and you feel an emotion arising in you. First and foremost, I am welcoming you to this channel, and if you like this video, click like and become member of this beautiful, fresh and growing community. And my name is Maybrit, of course, but you know, these are just like shallow level details. Let's dive deep into this message that wants to come through, and this is something that I have experienced a lot in my life, at least especially in recent years. And trigger is such a gift of empowerment. When you get triggered, take it as like a blessing from the divine, because you have chosen in your divine self. You have the divine self and the human self, so you have chosen in the divine level to awaken from an illusion, to awaken from a trauma, a pain, a shadow, and become more empowered version of yourself, so that you would stop escaping the truth. And the truth is that you came here to live in love, in divinity, in power, and co-creating new earth on this planet of creative humans expressing themselves authentically. So every trigger that comes to your way is showing you where you are still holding on to the past story. And every person that triggers you is also showing you how is your relationship toward yourself. So how separated are you from yourself, and how much are you resisting yourself is the other person showing you immediately. So it's never that the person did something, but they came to your life and you invited them to show you where you can purify this aspect that is keeping you living in fear or in lack of love with yourself, and become more in union with yourself and the triggering situations as well. And as all of it starts from childhood, meaning that in the early years when we we are super pure when we are born, and we are enlightened, we are awakened, we are one with God. But as we grow up, the society around us is programmed for humans to live in fear and to live in separation. So it's part of the game on this planet to feed that, so that the humans who have chosen, they awaken from it, like you who is watching this video, because you're not here randomly. And so just a moment. So when the so we start to like copy paste the separation programming from the outside, and then we save it into our subconscious. So acting on fear, and also our parents, because they are our gods. When we are born, they show us all types of like relationship types, and the relationship to money, and how to see the world, and all their fears and emotions also, they come through us. And as we are not taught how to work with suppressed emotions, we collect them into our body. And the same way we do it with our own experiences. If something super intense happens, or we have some form of trauma in childhood, then we don't know how to deal with this emotion, and we store it in our system. And when we grow up, everything is so divinely designed, so that, you know, everything in life starts to play out for us, that we would process through that suppressed emotion, and that we would become more and more pure and more in oneness with ourselves. And so if a trigger comes, do not run away. And that's like the ego's first reaction, is to keep you in survival and keep you not working on yourself. Because if you become one with yourself, and if you love yourself, then obviously the ego is going to die. And the ego is a programming in us that, you know, is feeding you with all these fears. But that also is made of God, and that is also a normal thing actually in the human existence. It's nothing to be like pushed away, but it's just something that you don't have to pay attention to, you know. But you can only do that purely when you purify all of these traumas and all of these resistances that you have picked up in your lifetime. So the ego's main reactions are then, you know, run away. When a trigger comes, I run away, or I attack, you know, I blame, or I start to people please, or I become the victim myself. Oh, look at that, they did this to me, poor me. So yeah, so when you are in the situation, like this person said something to you and you're like, oh, okay, you know, an emotional tension arises, do not like, it has nothing to do with that person, absolutely nothing. He or she is just part of you. There is no other. He or she is part of you, now showing you where you are holding on to that, you know, unprocessed emotion, or where you are where you are living in an illusion. So remove yourself, firstly, remove yourself from that situation. That's the hardest part, because we immediately want to, like, you know, do the survival thing. But remove yourself, it's easier when you do the messaging thing, when you're not physically together, for example. And then start to dig deeper. So track, where is that emotional tension stored? And normally it's either on the heart, in the heart center, or in the belly, in the hips, in the throat, somewhere in the upper body. So now you collect all of your energies back to yourself, back to that present moment. You breathe. You come into that part, and you start to breathe there. So you don't try to push it away. No effort is actually needed at all. So you just relax your whole body into it, and you actually will see that like you as the divine you is holding the human you who is going through that pain. And breathe. And let it talk. So it has usually a story attached to it. This person, for example, blamed me or in something, you know. Actually, there is no such thing as blame. Nobody can blame us. What everybody else is doing is that they are projecting their own relationship to themselves and their own relationship to life, their own truth to the external. So there is no, like, they just see you through their lens, but now it has actually nothing to do with you. But if it triggers you, it has everything to do with you. So when you now go through that, and let's say they blamed you for doing something and you believe you're right. Okay, so they blamed me or something. Okay, so what? Ask yourself, so what? Because now you are having that conversation with the ego. not your true self, because for the true or for the divine self, everything is perfect. Everything is here for you to awaken from the illusion and to experience love, to awaken to love. So, okay, I feel I'm blamed, right? Always turn your eyes inward. How do I feel? Not whatever they feel, doesn't matter. They just are you. Okay, I feel blamed, I feel guilty. So what? Okay, now I feel, because I feel guilty, I feel like I'm less than them. Okay, so what? So you always keep breathing while you are having this, right? Okay, I feel somehow less. Okay, I feel like I am not enough. Okay, I feel like I'm not enough. So what if I'm not enough? Okay, so I am nobody. Okay, if I'm nobody, so what? I'm nobody in this life. I am da da da. And usually it brings you to I am going to die. So that's like the basic fear. I am going to die. Okay, so now breathe with that fear or emotion. Breathe and welcome it, welcome it, welcome it. And breathe until you breathe through it. So until it dissipates, it dissolves, or it lessens so that it doesn't have any power over you. And you feel that probably this conversation takes you to the past, to the childhood, where somewhere you started to believe that you are not enough and you are always guilty. Because probably your parents, blamed you for something, or you're in kindergarten, you were blamed for something and you started to feel not enough, or you made a nice drawing, you showed that to your parents, they just didn't pay attention because they were busy, then you were like, okay, I'm not enough, right? So these situations that happen in childhood, they usually are like super mild, and our subconscious, like very straightforward, downloads it with these beliefs like I'm not enough. And that's actually one of the main limiting beliefs in the subconscious of most humans on this planet. I am not enough. I have to prove myself, right? But the truth is, you are enough exactly as you are. If there is nothing else you will take from this video, take this. You are enough exactly as you are in this very moment. God created you. Source has created you. And you are enough for God, right? Like this. So why can you not be enough for you? And who are you not enough to? That's the question. Who are you not enough to? And usually it's the ego programming that says, I am not enough, I am not enough, I am not enough. That's the programming from the childhood. So now when you're able to see that story, like back childhood, it doesn't actually even matter like what's the root, because there can be a million different small events in your childhood. And when you start to look for the root, like you can stay stuck in the sabotaging mind, in the sabotaging shadow, in the ego. The most important is that now you already got this like this memory or this situation from the past, and then like, okay, that's enough, right? Because now you're able to see that little girl, little boy who was feeling it, and then now you already are like can create a separation from that story and pull yourself back to this present, because now you are pure. Now you are fresh. Every moment you are new, and you are everything, and you have everything in this moment. And because 99.9% of the time we repeat the past stories over and over and over again, and we are not really experiencing the present, right? And that's for another video. But now you can only like distance yourself through that emotion, because that emotion stayed stuck there in that moment. And if you wanna get, in liberation, you gotta meet that emotion. That's why somatic work and working with your body is the most effective as well, because we have arrived into body consciousness. So the body is the portal from your divinity and from your earthly, between your divinity and earthly, and it's guiding you constantly with sensations, with emotions, to wherever you need to go, with drawing you to wherever you need to go. And some other very, very amazing and feminine ways for both men and women, very powerful. If you wanna, like, if it's like an emotion with a lot of charge, meaning that you have suppressed it for like many years, and it was like a really intense situation that got you like a really intense emotion, it's really good if you start to shake and breathe out of your mouth. And you make a sound and you bring your attention to that part where it is stored. Your body knows. And you give it a voice, because voice is like a really powerful tool of empowerment. And voice, it's like the new earth's creation, it's the new earth's love is in the voice. So and allow yourself to go as intense as you need to, and then, you know, when you feel like the wave is lessening and lessening, then you can like just keep breathing with it. And of course, allow yourself to cry, to scream, and as long as you're not affecting the, like, as long as you're not like pouring it out to the other. It's between you and you. Between you and you. Take a pillow, scream into a pillow, go to the forest where nobody goes and like smash it and, you know, punch the moss or whatever you need to do. But eventually you will be able to more go like inward and just breathe with your inner body. And then your body, you know, makes the shift, so you will feel the shift. And you feel like more space, you feel more freedom, you feel ease, and you feel like you might feel surge of energy, like your life force energy starts to move, because it used to be stuck there, right? And when you go through that process, you like open, you know, you open up to creative ideas, you get answers to questions, like you get so many gifts from that. You just feel more present and grounded in yourself, and you see yourself clearer, and you see the other clearer. And what also really helps is to, like, I always test myself. So that person that triggered me, I bring them back to my presence. So maybe I'll bring them energetically in front of me, or, you know, no, before meeting them, I bring them energetically in front of me. And when I still have a charge, I still have the trigger, then I'll breathe more through that. So, you know, you always go deeper, like with that process. Initially, it can be like super intense. And then you just breathe, and, you know, and it gets deeper and deeper and deeper and more subtle. And then you get to that mini subtle part. And then if there is still little charge, if you still feel like annoyed or irritated or triggered, then you know it's still the programming is active. So go deeper until you clear yourself. Sometimes if it's like a long process, I do it in parts. Like when, you know, I have a lot of things to do during the day, I just, you know, take time for it and go like a layer deeper, and then I go next time again. But the best, of course, is if you take time for the full process. Take time out, slow down, because there is no time anyway. Even if it takes for 2 hours, at least you are free from it forever. right? That's why it's super powerful to do it all at once. And I know that the mind, the ego mind, wants to run away. It wants to do other things. Like it's a practice. It's like a muscle. And I have like also been there and trained myself, you know, to go straight in and stay there. And now I'm pretty good at it. And it also takes me shorter time to get through it, even though there is no time, like I just said. But the sense of time for you, it gets shorter because like you know how to alchemize it through your body. And the key is also not to escape to the mind and start to affirm yourself out of it, or like put a happy positive affirmation on top of it. No, that doesn't work anymore. Go straight into the resistance and get out of there when you surrender to it. So I hope this video served you, and please share it with people who you believe might really like benefit from it. Last thing that I wanted to say, and I will make a separate video from it, is that you know, the initial reactions, the initial emotions that we take when somebody triggers us, be it like shame or guilt or fear or whatever, you know, our bodies have made it a home emotion. It's like a safe zone for us to go to because we are used to that, right? The initial reaction, like, victim, whatever, powerless human, that's also a victim, little girl, little boy, right? So the beauty is in you acknowledging it, feeling through it, like I just explained, and lifting yourself out to be that full, powerful human being on this earth, that powerful creator. And then, you know, now when these situations come to you, you practice a different approach. You approach from love, because now you are neutral toward that person. You can show love and you see where their behavior comes from, also from their little girl or boy, right? Practice love without expecting anything back. That's the superpower you have on this planet. Let's breathe together. Inhale and exhale. So if you want to go deeper with experiencing this kind of powerful tools, I have a really beautiful course that's named Pathway. It's a video course and the link is down below, where you will get different tools, embodiment tools, somatic tools, subconscious tools, to work through all this past stuff and empower yourself and ground your divinity into yourself. And there are beautiful practices like self-forgiveness or anger release or shadow work or, you know, breast massage even, to empower your sexual energy, and because sexual energy is the life force. There are dance journeys with specific playlists, so you can dance out of that suppressed emotion as well. For example, there is womb, voicing from the womb practice as the powerful creation portal. There is a lot. There are journaling worksheets, there are goddess codes for the day that are also activating you in the body level. There is a free ebook for self-love rituals, so please go and get it and you will benefit a great deal from it. I love you deeply and see you in the next video. Bye.